government is defending itself after stinging criticism from former Prime Minister Paul Keating over its historic AUKUS submarine deal. Mr Keating called the deal the worst Labor decision on foreign policy in over a century and a waste of taxpayer money. The former Labor leader was particularly critical of Foreign Minister Penny Wong and Defence Minister Richard Marles' diplomacy regarding China. Senior Labor members banded together to defend the senior ministers and claim Mr Keating's view of China is outdated.
Well, whatever Paul Keating says about myself, the Foreign Minister, the Prime Minister, you won't hear a bad word from us about him.
But that's a government that finished in 1996. I was reflecting on this last night, that it's a bit like Michael Jordan. He was the greatest of all time in the 90s with the Bulls, but when he came back with the Wizards in 2000, things had changed.
He's entitled to have his point of view. China has every right to rise, but they're not the China of the 1990s.
I think we live in a changing world, and I'd say that Paul Keating is one of the closest observers of foreign policy, one of the closest observers of Australian history and global history, and that we've got in our nation. So I always listen very carefully to what he's got to say. But I think the people who've said that the China of today is not the same as the China of his prime ministership have got a point.